Hello and welcome to my channel. The Victorian Edwardian ladies loved silk petticoats. Even those that couldn't afford silk taffeta petticoats tried to use other materials to create that rustling sound that the silk taffeta makes. So I've been really wishing for a silk petticoat, but silk, like in the Victorian era, in the modern era, is really expensive, and I really couldn't justify using hundreds of euros for a petticoat that isn't even visible. So one day I was thrift shopping once more and I had a stroke of luck. I found these lovely cream colored silk curtains. It's not really silk taffeta because nowadays silk dupioni is used much more, and this therefore has these little slabs. But because this is going to be a petticoat and it's not going to be visible, this behaves just like silk taffeta, and the color is perfect for a petticoat. So I got these two curtains for 20 euros and they are really 100% silk, besides the lining that is cotton. I can finally make this silk petticoat that I've always dreamed of. This is really beautiful silk, and I know exactly where to get lace for this. This is cotton tulle and the color matches this silk perfectly. These two will work so well together and make a really nice petticoat. So let's get started. I decided to use the Victorian underwear pattern by the Black Snail Patterns. I start by cutting out the long strips I need for the ruffle at the hem. Now I can use the antique Singer 15 that I restored. I sewed the strips together using the French seam. And while I'm at it, I can as well seam together all the skirt pieces as well. It took me a little while to get used to sewing with the threadle machine. First, the flywheel was a little bit stiff, but it got better when I just used the machine and the lubrication worked its way into the mechanism. You have to give a little push with the hand wheel to get the machine going, but then you can just sew and you get into the rhythm. When you need to stop, you'll just grab the hand wheel. To get really neat gathers at the back of the waist, I decided to gather the fabric by hand. Stroking the gathers with a needle helps to distribute the fabric evenly. Then I add the waistband. I sew it on the wrong side, then turn it over to the right side and finish by hand. Normally you do this the opposite way, but in this case there is this pretty angled detail at the front that is easier to sew by hand. Now I can add the lace to my ruffle. The silk lining underneath the lace protects the lace, but I decided to let the scallops go over the lining edge. I have made this petticoat before, and thus I know that it's a little bit too long for me. I can now just use the existing petticoat to adjust the length before attaching the ruffle. Yes, I am wearing my running gear. Am I going for a run after doing this, or have I just come back and couldn't resist a bit sewing before the shower? Who knows? Now I have already sewn on the gathering threads and I can start attaching the ruffle. Sewing the ruffle on by hand makes much nicer gathers. Now, I have this lace that I want to use, but it is white. So, let's dye it to match. It so happens that my dear husband was just in the kitchen chopping some onions, so there were plenty of onion peels around. I still dug out all the peels left at the bottom of the onion jar. Maybe a tea bag would reduce the mess. And we have some mooming tea that can be thrown in to get a bit reddish brown into the yellow. Add some hot water and we have a lovely onion tea. Get the solid stuff out and add the lace that is already wet. The color can be set with a little bit of vinegar in the rinsing water. Okay, the resulting color was a bit too reddish beige, so let's add more onions and dry again. Now it is looking better. It's a perfect match. Before attaching the lace, I need to cover the ruffle seam that is fraying quickly. For that, I can use the cotton lining of my curtains. I'll cut some bias tape and cover the seam with it. I sew the ruffle side of the bias tape by hand, but the other side is easier to sew by a machine. Now I can add the lace. I still felt that the skirt was missing something. This eyelet lace would work, and then I could thread in a silk ribbon. But again, it is white, so there is more dyeing to be done. This lace was lacking structure, so it was a bit difficult to sew with. I decided to starch it in the old-fashioned way using potato starch. I used 2.5 deciliters of water, 1 teaspoon of potato starch, and about half teaspoon of salt. I'll boil it, mixing it the whole time until I get the smooth goo. The lace goes in. A skimmer helps to get the lace out of the hot mixture. Then I'll just iron the lace dry. I was lucky to find genuine silk ribbon at the local fabric store. And here it is, my lovely silk petticoat. The back is dragging a bit since I didn't add a bustle pad underneath, but isn't it lovely? Now I only need to make a matching corset cover. But that's a topic for the next video. Thank you for watching and please subscribe to help me grow this channel. See you soon. Bye!